Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest narration of the web series The Burning Ones. If you're new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. Chapter 29, Bad Moon Rising. The humans were understandably eager to get answers from Voltian. I was too. Voltian had to know more than he had shared with me. We would, however, be forced to wait as the doctor was busy with his operating theater. Once we arrived in sickbay, the sheepdogs began the arduous task of removing Cooper's armor, which had been damaged to the point of non-function. Many sections had been burned so severely that the nanobots had died. Breaker had to cut through many seams and remove the broken pieces by hand, in stark contrast to the efficient autonomous sequences I had seen when the sheepdogs had applied their armor. None of the pieces, regardless of how ruined they appeared, were discarded. Some would be rejuvenated with a fresh dose of base materials and nanobots which would repair the damaged. Others were to be recycled into base materials. All of it would be reintegrated into the system. The other problem was Qzaf, who wanted to meet the new human and, help. "Just try it," Qzaf said adamantly as he tried to climb up Breaker's body to better reach the cuts on Cooper's face. "The Band-Aid will help. Hold still, human." "Bro, seriously." Breaker tilted awkwardly as Qzaf hoisted himself onto Breaker's arm. "I'm not a ladder." "Qzaf, stop. We have a laser suture and tissue gel." Zevi tried to pull Qzaf off. "Let us handle it, buddy." "No!" Qzaf clung to Breaker. "I saw human Band-Aids in a film. They are my favorite. The new human needs one." Buddy, Breaker said. "We haven't used Band-Aids in like 100 years, man." All right, Cooper said, as Don helped him strip off the flight suit. "Just let whatever that guy is, give me the Band-Aid." "It will help," Qzaf explained excitedly. "I made these with Voltian. We used science. Science is my favorite." Qzaf opened a package and removed a sheet of neon pink strips with patterns of strange, irregular purple oblong shapes. Breaker saw the pattern and started to laugh. "Coop, my man, you're about to regret this." CV giggled. "I need a picture." Once given the staple platform to work upon, Qzaf pinched the cut on Cooper's face shut with his slender tentacles and expertly applied the Band-Aid. "Whoa! That feels weird," Cooper said. "That itches." "No way," Don marveled and stepped closer. "Qzaf, what did you make these out of?" "I was a cosmetic designer," Qzaf said proudly. "These were inspired by classic human Band-Aids with plant patterns." "Flowers, Qzaf, not," Breaker snickered. "Not eggplants." I looked at Cooper's face and saw the skin around the Band-Aid rapidly knitting itself back together. "Really? What is it made of?" Don asked. He was filming the tissue as it repaired. "Some sort of ocean goop, I don't remember. Voltian bet me 10 credits I couldn't get one on the human's face." Qzaf chuckled and shouted, "Sucker!" "Got any bigger ones?" Zevi asked as she cleaned the gouges on Cooper's torso. "Yes," Qzaf said sadly and pointed to a large roll on the lab counter. "But Voltian wouldn't let me put the leopard print on them, so they're boring." "Doc's got a lot to answer for," Mark said. "At least poor fashion sense isn't one of them." The sheepdogs patched Cooper up with a combination of their equipment, medicine, and Voltian's bandages. Cooper said that he didn't even care that he had been tricked into being a guinea pig because he was glad not to be bleeding on the floor anymore. I think the levity provided by Qzaf's antics brought some of the necessary distance from the trauma. I felt sick thinking of the soldiers who had just died and I didn't even know them. Can't imagine being in the human's position right now. Mark and CV both seemed to be intimately familiar with Cooper, and I imagine that Mark knew some of the Omega Team soldiers who had died. Cooper appeared calm on the outside, but his bionic eye never ceased scanning the room. I could see infrared spectrum light emitting from the lens and scanning the door, ceiling, floor, and even some of the cabinets. He was vigilant, but I don't think fearful is the right word. The other remarkable thing about Cooper was his size. I thought Breaker was an exceptionally large human because he stood taller and wider than the others. Cooper was enormous, standing over 2 meters tall. He was not as lean as Breaker, but it was evident from the way he moved that his bulk contained great strength. I think Cooper and I both drifted to sleep briefly. I don't think I know how long it was, but I awoke when the doors to the operating theatre opened and Faulty and exited. The room immediately fell silent. I'm not sure if the humans felt the same as me, but I did not wish to be the one who inquired of Lee's fate. Faulty removed his surgical smock and disposed of it in a biohazard waste chute. Does he need anything? Faulty asked. I'm fine, Cooper snapped. His guardian bristled and sparked behind him. I need a report from my cleric. Lee is alive, Faulty explained. Cooper's aggressive guardian didn't seem to faze him. She's breathing on her own again, and I was able to stop the bleeding and replace her fluids with the blood of your medical kits. But, Mark said. Faulty shrugged, an awkward approximation of a human mannerisms for one with 4 shoulders. It is up to her now. She is comatose. I believe this is a defensive response to allow her body time to heal. And now that I've answered the easy questions... Faulty spun the digits on his lower left hand, manipulating some sort of holo-control, and the lights in the room dim. I believe you wanted to know about... this. He gestured again, and the holo projector hummed to life, casting a 3D image of the winged seraph fossils into the center of the room. This is not to scale, as you and Mr. Cooper are aware. Faulty projected another image of a seraph-face skeleton next to the fossil. And this creature is anomalous compared to the standard inhabitant of the system. What is it? Mark asked. Screw that, Cooper said. How do we kill it? With overwhelming force, I imagine, Faulty said nonchalantly. I would also like to know what it is, I said. Yes, unfortunately, I must disappoint you. I have no hard evidence as of yet. My colleagues sent only the photographs, radiographic dating, and a few spectrographic readings. I made inquiries and was never granted access to the physical subject. I was, however, threatened repeatedly by the Seraphim government. Having seen this could also make you targets in the future. So, you don't know what it is, Mark said disappointedly. I do not know, but I have spent many sleepless evenings guessing. Now that I have met your people, Faulty gestured to the humans in the room, I have an even better guess, and I believe that this creature is a hybrid. Humans don't have wings, Raegar said. That's no human, seraph hybrid. That's like some sort of bat out of hell, Doc. You are not wrong, Mr. Raegar. Faulty activated his remote again, and a ring of light appeared on the floor. Can I perhaps borrow one of you? It is only light, a painless alteration of the visible spectrum. I've seen this movie, Doc. Raegar backed away. I know most of you guys are nice and all, but when an alien scientist says step into my light beam, yeah, bro, the answer's no. I'll do it, Don said, his voice loud and confident, unlike his usual demure timbre. I think I figured this out. Don stepped into the light. His burning guardian followed close behind. After the burning one stepped into the ring, CB and Breaker both gasped and retreated. Whoa! Breaker shouted. What the hell is that? Don tilted his head and appraised his guardian. His smile made his moustache quiver and bristle as he said, I didn't think I'll ever see this. These creatures, Faulty explained, were thought to be legend. I believe they were simply forgotten. It had been so long, but in meeting you, I see they have, for some reason, bonded with the human race. Perhaps they saw a flicker in their past in you. I can see it. Faulty stopped for a moment, took a breath, and then continued. In the child Lorenzo, I saw another creature, a twisted version of this burning one, as they are called in some legends. I now believe that the answer to the mystery of this winged seraph lies here. These corrupted creatures, which legend says were vanquished by the light, have found a new foothold in reality. They have found it possible to join with the Seraphae, and thus re-enter our dimension, fully corporeal. End of chapter. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Cold War Boomerwaffen, Sevaren Serberous, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Casper Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon W.R.E, and Sevaren Serberous. Thank you very much.